Salutations, everybody. It is Maddie here today, and we're sitting down to talk about a company that we haven't gotten into in a hot minute. That's right, it's BioWare. And hey, BioWare just brought us Mass Effect Legendary Edition. We did a ton of content for that. We did our Mass Effect Legendary Supercut, and now we've gone kind of quiet on them because we're waiting for Dragon Age 4. There were some scoops on that, but otherwise, all's been quiet in the BioWare world up until this week right here, where we've got to talk about a couple of things. We got to talk about a Mass Effect TV series inbound, but I think more importantly, we got to talk about what's going on with Dragon Age 4, where they've lost another significant employee in a very important position that will impact the development process, and where exactly this game stands. So if you're new here, we do talk about BioWare anytime there is something worth talking about for them, so consider subscribing if you're new here. Really appreciate that. We just passed 460, so a bunch of e-hugs to all of you who've been supporting what we're doing here. It means a lot, and the thought that we may cross 500K next year is insane. So thank you all so much. And now, let's sit down and talk about BioWare, starting off with the bad, all right? You know, we got to get out of the way. So, this article comes from Video Game Chronicles. It's titled Dragon Age 4's creative director has left BioWare. Matt Goldman was more than a 20-year veteran of BioWare, having worked on Baldur's Gate in the early Dragon Age games. In an internal email sent to BioWare staff published by Kotaku, BioWare studio GM Gary McKay acknowledged that the creative director's departure could affect some employees' work, but insisted that the game would not ship until it met standards. Here's the email. Hi everyone, I hope you are well. I'm writing to inform you all that Matt Goldman is leaving BioWare. We have mutually agreed to part ways, and his last day is today. We understand that Matt's departure has an impact on you, as well as the game's development. Rest assured, our commitment to a high-quality Dragon Age game has not wavered, and we will not ship a game that is not up to BioWare's standards. We, including EA's executive team, have absolute confidence in the leadership here at the studio and the people working on this game to carry forward our vision. Now, one thing that was interesting is what EA said in a fiscal earnings call a couple of years ago, where they said you should assume that Dragon Age, it's out there. We talked about it publicly, that it's in the works. It probably comes after fiscal 2022. We're still in early production, but we thought that it was time to give you this first look at how BioWare's passionate team of developers are crafting this very special game, is what was said at the time, meaning that it could arrive sometime by 2023. Now, I know what we read in that leaked email looks like BS, you know, standard corporate write-up, and it is, but I can definitely corroborate that beyond the, say, GM at BioWare, creatives that I have spoken to are very much hungry with this game, which is what kind of makes me feel slightly encouraged. Obviously, there's only so much that can go right here with so much good talent leaving and so much long-standing talent in very important positions, but I know there's a hunger with BioWare to get this right. It's why they took so long to announce Legendary Edition, even though it's just a remaster with some remake elements. It's why they took so long with that, and it's why I think they're going to take as long as they need with Dragon Age 4. Does that guarantee us a good game? Absolutely not, but it can at least give us the best possible game. So what that ends up being, we will see in due time, but this sucks. I want to say I'm excited for Dragon Age 4, but I think that'd be the wrong word here. I'm very curious how BioWare handles their first game since Anthem, right? They got some well-needed good PR with Mass Effect Legendary Edition, where they were feeling like this is what it's like to be in the positive spotlight as BioWare again, with just a remaster. What if we got a new game right? Imagine what that would be like. You know, we're talking before Anthem was Andromeda. So there's a lot of pressure on them to get this game right. And again, internally, I know they feel that pressure from the audience and they want that. So I look at it as an excitement that they do want it that bad, as many creatives do, but that there's a new level of determination internally compared to what we have seen in the past, where there was a determination more so to keep up with the times on live service elements. And so knowing that they've stripped that out, and the Project Joplin that had originally leaked over on Bloomberg, talking about this being like a heist-based game, sounded interesting. I don't know how much of that has been dismantled, but I think my biggest concern here with Dragon Age 4 is not even the core product, but when you have so many different minds filling in important positions and putting their hands on the work, how much is getting redone? Plus, we take into account that the live service part of this game got scrapped, and now they have this new single-player version of it all. And so how much do you see of the old game versus the new? Do we see sort of a Marvel's Avengers-like element here where you could tell it was a single-player game first and they turned it into a live service game? Do we see the opposite effect here? Do we see a clashing of creative visions within the story where you could tell like a different writer picked something up at one point in the story? Because you can feel that in especially RPGs where you look at some side quests, you look at some of the main scenario, you could tell like a different set of hands there. But this seems like it'll be a lot more rampant. So there are some understandable, reasonable worries here. You never like to see someone leaving such an important position, especially after 20 plus years. You got to wonder what's going on with that. Where was this something that someone just got burnt out and said like, hey, I've been here for 2 full decades. Life is short. I got to figure something out. I'm out of here. Or was it much more? Of course, that's only speculation, and knowing BioWare and knowing how much attention stories get when there's something wrong with them, I feel we would have known if things went sour internally. So I'm going to take a wild guess that that's not the case here. But it still sucks nonetheless. And hopefully the replacement that they find just slides in and the development doesn't get pushed back too far here. What's encouraging is that it was posted on Twitter by Christian Daly that when EA Play was rolling around here in 2021, they said their heads are down with a lot of momentum and they're making great progress. Obviously, game development can change at any point in time. So this is something that could have changed very recently, but still, good to know that at one point things were moving along smoothly. We'll see in due time, but still absolutely worth talking about. Let's go into our other bit of news in today's video, Mass Effect. So Mass Effect is loved by everybody because you got Commander Shepard, who's this blank template that you can imprint yourself on, Paragon, Renegade. Your squad mates are sort of the vectors to deliver other types of emotional storytelling, and Commander Shepard is really the guy who mediates all of that, or gal. So now they're working on a TV series, and I've got some thoughts. Deadline reports this, saying The Wheel of Time makes strong debut as Amazon Prime Video doubles down on genre with Mass Effect adaptation and prepares to usher in Lord of the Rings. Between Emmy-nominated comic book adaptation, The Boys' critical and commercial success, The Wheel of Time's promising debut, and the anticipated launch of The Lord of the Rings, genre has emerged as a key programming area for the streamer and a continuing development focus. One of the company's newest hopefuls in the arena is Mass Effect. Amazon Studios is nearing a deal to develop a series based on the best-selling sci-fi video game franchise from Electronic Arts. You gotta mention BioWare, put some respect on their name. Anyway, continuing on. You'll see us continuing to invest in fantasy genre of all kinds. We have a genre-focused team on the ground in studios who work tirelessly with our creative partners on those slates, and you can look forward to more, Salk said. All right, so we know that it's been heavily hinted that Mass Effect in some TV or movie form was on the way because we saw Henry Cavill holding a script that when people started to do a little bit of, let's say, just Photoshop work, that we saw some references to what looked like Reapers and a lot of keywords that this is Mass Effect. We know Henry Cavill likes his Mass Effect, right? So he liked The Witcher, like Mass Effect, pretty good fit. I am in the middle on this one. When it comes to Amazon, I like to say Invincible. I know The Boys is great. I have not seen it. I'm very hopeful for Lord of the Rings because I love Lord of the Rings, man. It's so under-discussed, I feel, nowadays. You know, I feel like everyone talks about Harry Potter, like this Harry Potter world, Harry Potter this, Harry Potter that. It's like, where's Lord of the Rings world? Where is that? Come on. Anyway, back on track. We know Bethesda struck a deal with Amazon to do Fallout. So I'm curious to see how some of these play out. And I think they're all going to happen at once. But now we're seeing them work on Mass Effect. Just like Fallout, I have the same issue I do with Mass Effect. One of the best parts of Mass Effect and Fallout is as video games, you get to insert yourself into this very cool universe and have a lot of agency over what happens. When that agency is effectively plucked and you have a character that now in a show or a movie, in this case it looks like, based off them saying the word series, a show, has to have their own backstory, their own motivations, their own choices, their own reasoning for said choices. How interesting is, say, a Commander Shepard, right? Like, what is that? Because even in, say, Mass Effect 1, you pick your background. You pick how your Shepard grew up, and there are characters in the world that respond to that. And I think that's one of the best parts of it, is they have this set character who is a template, just like I'd say Geralt of Rivia, although I'd say even less than in that case, where you can imprint yourself onto them. And you just can't do that in a show. It's what makes, I think, games the best form of storytelling, is you can be the storyteller in a lot of ways. You can decide how it goes. And you'll never get that in a show or a movie unless you make separate episodes for, like, you went Paragon here, see what happens, which would be nuts, by the way. I would actually be very big on that idea, but I digress. I doubt that would really happen here. But still, wanted to throw that out there. At the end of the day, not crazy about this one. Absolutely open-minded to seeing it. If it's good, it's good. I was definitely doubtful of The Witcher, and The Witcher turned out pretty solid, I would say. So I'm open-minded to this one, but I feel like, at least in the case of Geralt of Rivia, while he was a template you can imprint yourself on and make choices, like, he still had predetermined things clearly about him because of the books. Like, you had to respect that. With Mass Effect, there really wasn't that. So, again, not insane about this, but absolutely open-minded to this. I feel Amazon's done some solid work, and so I really hope that they check this one out, because I know the team who worked on The Expanse, which is apparently a really good sci-fi series from Amazon, is interested in working on this one. And they said they haven't gotten the call yet. So, fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, just a quick update on what's going on with BioWare and some of my thoughts on them. Certainly looking forward to reading yours. Like, what do you feel about this Mass Effect show? Because maybe some folks in the comments can give me an inkling of why I should be hopeful or really excited about this. Just because I want to be, as a big BioWare fan, but obviously a little skeptical here. So let me know what you're thinking about this in the comments down below, on top of the Dragon Age news. And I'll talk with you very shortly, all right? Be sure to take good care of yourselves and stay sexy, stay active. I love you all. Peace.